One. Good evening, and welcome to another episode of the Black Super Friends podcast. I am your host, the Horace Hounds, joined by an amazing cast that I call my best friends, the Super Friends, the Black Super Friends to be exclusive. At the top, I got no. I'm gonna start the direction a little different. First off, I'm going to the latest man wearing the latest apparel from Black Super Friends.
Okay.
Then I
At the time.
am going to again sing Chris.
That would be King Chris spelled incorrectly on purpose. Happy to be
One day we will have a truce. Make this work. Who is wearing also some amazing Black Super Friends apparel. And last but not least, in his illustrious Alpharetta home, Super Mario 561. What's up, fellas?
Hey man, how you doing? Hey, first off, we gotta say it's the date, not the birthday. So around here, what we do is we make sure we give our fellas out their flowers while they here. So fellas, 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday
to
you.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday. Say Chris.
Happy birthday to you.
Hey, happy birthday, my
and many more.
Thank you, my brothers. Thank you, my brothers. Another year of life, man. I'm happy to be here.
Hey, man, you know, we had it's been a crazy week, man. You know what I'm saying? But it's been a joyous week. The last time we was on Horace's birthday, then now this time Chris' birthday. You know what I'm saying? Right before this happened, it was Zae's birthday. It's a blessing to see everybody keep seeing another year in rotation. But
wait a minute, Mario. Before you get there, we got to go to our sponsor, my brother.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
The people that pay the bills. All right. No, you can't forget them because definitely this dude actually is going to be part of our family. He will be handling my services when that untimely time comes. Okay. This week's sponsor comes from Derek Burns Funeral Services. He is located in Riviera Beach, and he's running a special for all Palm Beach County residents. I don't think you know this, but no one gets out of life alive. So Derek Burns Funeral Service, where the motto is, I will have your body heavenly and divine for the low price of $29.95.
Oh, man, that's a good deal.
Hey.
No, man, anything.
Do we do two for the
He do what?
He sang that
funeral. Hey, before we even start, I got something to say too. I wanted to talk about this because I'm a little perplexed on this topic right here about politics, and I know that's your expertise. And I just want to hear the other brothers. What about this? About Kamala Harris? Like, how do y'all feel about Kamala Harris being nominated as the vice president nominee for the Democratic Party? Like, I want to know how y'all feel. I haven't made up my mind yet. We'll start with Horace, since you seem to be the expert in this topic.
Yeah, I've been in debates and arguments all week, my brothers. There's no secret that I once had a show called The Black Republican. Why? Because Black people love drama. And so often people call in and say Black Republican, and they call in and get educated. You know, there's no secret that I've served on conservative boards. You know, I believe that Black people should be on both sides of the table. Instead of a million Black people being Democrats, I think you need to have representation on both sides of the board. But this is what I do every day. Before COVID, this is usually where I would make my meat and potatoes, consulting and doing political analysts for different campaigns or state campaigns. And the thing that I want to ask America, and I'm asking Black America, because a lot of statistics are what we take and we debate on, and it usually is wrong. There's too many people that are media educated. So I'm not telling you who to vote for. I'm just saying that as Black Americans or African Americans, for once, we need to start focusing on us. Because everybody always talking about Black people need to, fight for equal solidarity, right? But when we fighting for causes, we oftentimes by ourselves. So you will see nothing against the gay groups and this group and that group. When we going through stuff, ain't nobody out there, you know. So to sum it all up, though, I want to go back to Kamala Harris, and this is where it gets tricky because we just talked about pro-blackness last week, and I want to pose a question that I did to somebody on social media the other day. I said, "What has Donald Trump did to you personally? How has Donald Trump affected your life personally? How has he impacted your day-to-day living?" And I'll come back to that in a minute. I don't have a, I don't like, I'm like most Americans. They don't like Donald Trump. They don't like Mike Pence, who I think is the most racist person you ever meet in your history of life. They don't like Biden, who was once a segregationist, who told you straight up that, you know, that he didn't want his kids going to school in the racial jungle. But then we have Kamala Harris. Now, this is just me. I'm giving facts, pros and cons. Kamala Harris was a person for a long time that represent or seen herself as not being so much African American. Her her birth certificate says Caucasian. She's a black woman married to a white husband. She has white kids, and when she was the DA and the prosecutor and all those, to be honest, she locked up more Negroes than a little bit. She set a record. So this is where my conflict comes in because I don't like neither one of them, but I am hoping, and I'm taking a pro-black moment to hope that that same sister who did all this Caucasian stuff on this side, I'm hoping that because she went to a black a HBCU, the fact that she is in the AKAs, a black sorority, I'm hoping that this sister has enough blackness in her and enough black people around her that will hold her accountable if she was to somehow get in office. Because as much as I despise Democratic policies, how can I be pro-black if we finally got a black person in the office that I think out of all the people remaining, she should have our best interests more than anybody else. Even though I know a lot of times they allow us to think that we have a choice, but every year we got the same two old white men in front of your eyes. Don't get me wrong. The Democrats, Republicans are two wings on the same bird. Just as many millionaire Democrats as there millionaire Republicans. I'm just saying neither one of them have served black people well. Instead of arguing about who the president is, y'all need to find out who Mitch McConnell is, because that's the person that runs the country. That's the person that no matter who the president is, if he says it ain't passing what he says on TV, oh, ain't nothing passing. Start learning about Mitch McConnell. Worry about who your governor is. Worry about your senator in your state, because that's the stuff that affects you day to day. Sorry to ramble on, but you know, Zae.
That's what we wanted.
Bro, I'm conflicted. I'm actually right behind you because I too in the same boat. I'm just not a fan of what they're trying to put or appetite. What they're trying to get us to bite onto with the Biden Obama feel again of the Kamala Harris and Biden ticket. It just doesn't sit well with me. Also, what we spoke on last week, which you just made a very appealing point. How can we be pro-black when we do actually have a black woman that's in position to be the VP of the United States? Even though that same question that we had last week comes up, her family is of the opposite race. How can I feel like you have my best interest at hand when I know your track record with black men leaving the state of California? Probably some of the questions we need to ask are the people from Alameda County, which is in San Francisco, where she was. You know, how did your people fare under her rule of thumb, so to speak, before moving forward? I'm not 100% sold on it. I know anything has to be better than what we have going on right now, because that's just total utter disarray. But just making sure that we are checking the agendas, making sure that they are toward what we need done for us as a race. And someone raised a question about reparations with her, and it was a interview that we saw, and she couldn't give a direct answer on that. And that also too just like a failing light for me for her, with my vote, but I don't want to be one of the ones who actually cause the presidential race to go away because we vote on the wrong side because we have different disdains for her. I don't know what about you, Chris?
Well, I think that anytime a black person can reach this level in their community, I mean in their career, then it's calls for black celebration. And I'm a person that likes to give people their flowers while they're living. So, Senator Harris, these are for you. I want to say congratulations. Now, I'm conflicted on this also. Well, first, I would be remiss if I don't bring up the fact that there's a story that says there was a group of prominent, influential black men that wrote a letter encouraging Joe Biden to pick a black female vice president. Now, there's a narrative going around that black men don't support black women. So I would like to bring that to light, that those influential black men could have easily picked another black man. They chose to pick a black woman. So I want to shed light on that. But I look at this as in three perspectives. First perspective, as a black man, a black father of a daughter. I would be disingenuous if I said I don't want my daughter to see something like that. My daughter was born in 2008. Her first president was Obama. I think it would be great for her to see a black woman as the vice president. Now, but that's just a personal thing. As a black man, like you said earlier, I think it's a good idea for us to ask her the question about her history as a district attorney, about the amount of black men that she locked up. I think that is something that she should be asked about and held accountable for. Now, I'm not a black woman, but if I was a black woman, and I encourage black women to ask her the question about when she was running for president, she said that she agreed with Joe Biden's accusers. Now, in the climate that we're in now, I hear a lot of talk about women complaining that people don't believe them when they speak up about sexual misconduct. So I think that's something that black women should ask her about. But at the same time, I think that I don't want to use my platform to bring down a black woman. So there's a lot of accomplishments that woman has. I suggest you guys take the time out to actually look to see a lot of the accomplishments that she has and a lot of the things that she has done for our community. But I just want to say that I'm very optimistic. I'm hopefully optimistic about what she has to offer us specifically, not minorities, not low income, black specifically. But like I said, I would like to give her her flowers and congratulate her while she's here. That's all I got.
Well, I asked the question because I did a lot of research myself, just because of a good fact you brought up that I didn't want to. I like to be knowledgeable before I tear somebody down or I build them up. So I wanted to see what side I'm standing on, because either way, she's not gonna sway my vote. Either way, because I'm an independent, so I'm gonna vote for the best party that has my personal reason. But I vote more on public county stuff and judges. I take that more serious than I do a presidential race. Let's just say that, because to me, I feel like Horace. That it doesn't matter who the president. I had a job for the last 12 years straight. It's like one president, not president. You know what I'm saying? In my county, the rules I have to go, those matter more to me. But as I started looking into this about Kamala, I've seen a lot of stuff. She was born from a Jamaican dad and an Indian mom, but both of them, they met at a rally for equal right, like you know what I'm saying, like marching for justice. That's how they met. So she kind of got brought up in the system of knowing, of understanding, like we are disenfranchised people. As a people, her family's passion was that. Then she went to Howard, which is a black university, and pledged. But then she gets on and said, I heard out of her mouth say that she went to become a prosecutor because she feels as Horace said, we need people on both sides. And for me, understanding the court system a lot, growing up, I understand this too. People always really go hard on prosecutors, but you got to understand the prosecutor is the one who has your life in their hand, because they can pick what they choose to prosecute you on what level they do and everything. So it's good to have a good defense attorney, but if a prosecutor feel like they don't want to pick up the charges or actually charge you above what you're doing, it helps to have a black person on the other side who's saying, yeah, you fucked up, but you ain't fucked up that bad, so I ain't gonna kill you. Then I looked at the disparity of, she put a whole bunch of black men in jail. Well, I looked at, it's a lot. She put a lot of people in jail, period. Let's just say that. She did her job as a prosecutor. She tried to lock up anybody who was doing a crime. Right? Or if she felt like you was doing a crime, you was getting locked up. She was a prosecutor. She don't like crime. She's not from the streets. She don't live by those laws. She's a law-abiding, tax-paying citizen. She feel like if you don't pay your parking tickets and the law says go to jail, go to jail. But she locked up a lot of rapists too, a lot of child molesters too. She locked up a lot. Then I looked at, she brought up a point, and I had to go look up this too, that she said that she was the most forward-thinking prosecutor in the whole state of California. So
most progressive.
Progressive. At the end of the day, we're talking about a person whose job was to lock you up. So she did her job. So when people saying that part about it right there, I can't blame, whether I like it or not, I can't blame somebody for doing their actual job. But the part I don't like is, and I think somebody brought up in the comments, is I watched her debate with Joe Biden. She told into him. She made it seem like he was the devil himself. But then you come right back. He chooses you to be the vice president. He's good old Joe. He's the best man in the world. See, that's when I can't believe stuff, and I understand that's just politics. And this is a political show. Joe knew having a black woman in this climate right now, with women being on top, pushing every agenda, Black Lives Matter at the forefront, the biggest way to secure the ticket to beat Donald Trump was to get a black woman that Republicans also can stomach, because she's hard on crime. She's married to a white man and she has a white family. So she was the perfect pick. It was other black women out there he could have picked, but she was the perfect pick, political. So I understand this whole dog and pony show, and I don't get bothered by it either way. But I do tend to take the high road, like Chris said, and say nothing less. I mean more, because I don't want to tear her down. But I damn sure got my eye on her and all the stuff she's doing, because I do believe if you're gonna be black now, when it's time for you to benefit from it, make sure you be black when it's time to stand up, so we can benefit from you being black when you get that seat. That's all I'm gonna say to Miss.
Well, this is what I want to say to black people before we close out on that subject is parties, and I'm saying this even being a conservative for so many years. What if we didn't have parties? You would be forced to actually take your time to research each candidate, because most of the time, traditional, you have people just go in there and vote all Democrat, and then you have people vote all Republican. But a lot of Republicans knew that trick, so you had somebody like Sheriff Watson up in Milwaukee, who's a Republican, but he ran Democratic because he was going to win the seat, because nobody ever researched it. Second of all, I want to give something. This is for the women. I know we're on the women's movement right now, but as black people, we need to research our folks, because the DA race up in Atlanta, y'all just had one, right? Y'all had a guy that was there. He was good for the community. But guess what? They just elected the first female district attorney in that area. You know why? Because we're going to make history, our first female for that position. But the reality was she was the worst person for the job, because the police union backed her and her conviction rate against minorities. And I'm like, no one took the time.
And she over-sentenced over 60% of the minority. You're right. That just happened. You're right.
And nobody talked about it. I'll be just saying, take your time to research these candidates. Now, what's going to happen, because I've done this, the Republicans are going to let this get close, and then they're going to bring out a whole kits and caboodles about the Democratic Party, and black people are going to be like, oh, you know what? I'm just going to stay home. I'm tired of it. Kamala made a point the other day, said, and I hope she don't do this Hillary stuff. She said, oh, yeah, when I was in college in 1986, I smoked weed. I was in my dorm room smoking weed, listening to Tupac and Snoop. Snoop and Tupac I mean, it didn't come out to 1992, 1991. So just somebody give it advice to just keep it 100.
Keep it real.
And come back and say, hey, listen, this politics, because when she said Joe Biden was the devil and he was racist and now you're on his ticket, black people understand, but just come back and be able to say, listen, I was vying for a seat and, I said something.
Well, I want to say something. We have someone in the comments that I get a lot of political information from, and this is a great page to follow if you're looking for political information. Her name is Salika. It's spelled S-A apostrophe capital L-E-I-C-A. If you want to, I think she takes the time out to give in-depth analysis on politics. So if you don't want to do the research, just simply look at her page when it's pertaining to political information, and I think you'll be in the right direction.
Well, I can honestly say we got a long time coming, and black people show up to vote every election. So don't let people get pulled into that thing right there, because the last 3 elections have been decided by working class white women. That is the real stat. So,
and like Chris, I'm optimistic before we go to the subject that maybe she understands the game more than everybody, and she is playing the game to get in to make that change. Because we also understand that America's not ready for a strong black sister to be in there with an afro. We also understand that too. That's not gonna happen. So right now, let's just hope that she's just playing the game, and once she get into office, that she can get in Joe ear and get in the right people ear and make the right changes and the right suggestions that's gonna get us in the right eyeball movement in the right direction. And you know what I'm saying? Before she even get elected, I just feel like we should reserve the right to tear her down before we even see what she do yet.
Exactly.
We don't know what she's gonna do, but she can't tell us everything because then it won't work. So I tell people, just pump your brakes for a minute, let her get in the office, go vote, and then hold her accountable for what she said she's gonna do for us. That's all I'm saying.
November is a long way away, people.
I think the one thing hard that probably just put a bad taste in most mouths, because I know it did for me, is just like you said, the tearing in to Joe Biden, just saying that you side with those women, and it just, and again, we don't know what her game plan is, but now to see you all buddy or that front that y'all trying to show her, that ain't cool. That has everybody on his heels.
That's everybody. Every politician.
Definitely.
Everybody.
So,
that's the game of politics. To make to that seat, you can't. They created this game, so either you're gonna play it or you're gonna just get pushed to the side. So when you come in there too strong, too right, too honest, too forthcoming, or they see how you coming and they're gonna just push you out. But you at some point have to be manipulative at some level to get in, play them, and I believe that's the way you get to the top. You know what I'm saying? In that arena, in that political arena.
Yes,
makes sense.
I agree with that. Me and Chris had an interesting conversation the other day on while I was in his area, and this kind of can go a lot of direction, like most topics. And I had to ask this question because with us being who we are, we have evolved, and that's the thing that I admire about all of you guys. You know, we were typical Riviera Beach young men at one point, and now we've evolved into men, and we're professionals, and fathers and whatnot. So you evolve, and certain people take different paths and different journeys. The question that I'm posing today: do friends have an expiration date in your life? Because as we journey on in life, there are people. I know when I was in high school, I was popular, and then I learned that lesson quickly. One weekend my car broke down and I ain't here for nobody, so that was my first lesson about friends. Ain't nobody checked for me.
Lesson.
Yeah, but then as I got older, you had different things that showed you about friendships. My friends are on this screen right now, whether I get mad with you or, upset, I know you guys, I trust you guys with my life, So with that being said, do friends have an expiration date in your life? Mario, what's your thoughts?
Well, see, first of all, we're gonna go to the key word of this: friends. See, I feel like I have friends that I grew up with, and I have a lot of friends, right? So because I came up in like a little group. It was a bunch of us, but we were very tight. And I don't believe they have an expiration date, but I believe we put them in different categories as we grow older. Because I got some friends who I don't talk to every day, who I don't see every day. But if I was to go back home and see them, it'd be like I never left. Then I got some friends who I would do business with. Some I won't do business with. I got some who I feel like responsible enough that I can send to tend to my children, like if they needed them. I got some friends who I love them to death, but they're irresponsible. But I love them. So I don't believe they'll ever stop being my friend. So I don't believe they have an expiration date, but I just believe that at some point you got to put friends in categories on where their life is leading them. And don't try to pull everybody in one big category as you my friend. I can start a business with you. You can watch my child. You can stay at my house. Now, I don't believe that everybody has the right to have the equal right to come into my life on every level. That's just the way I believe in it, about that friendship thing. What you believe, Chris?
Well, I think that we need to make a distinction between friends and relationships. I think that friends are titles that we put on relationships. Now, I believe that titles don't change. Relationships does. And I'll give you an example. If you ever got married and then get divorced, that you still refer to that person as your ex-husband or ex-wife, because that's the title to that relationship. Although that relationship changed, the title stays the same. Think about it as a president. You still refer to Barack Obama as a ex-president because the title never changed. The relationship does. So I encourage everyone to do a relationship inventory in their life because yes, absolutely, relationships does have an expiration date. You do outgrow people and you do outmature people. So yeah, I totally believe we just need to make a distinction between friends and relationships. Friends are just titles that we put on relationships, and relationships are the one that's conditional. Zae.
I think me and Mario are on the same track, but we've had numerous conversations about friends throughout the years. If this individual is actually a friend, or what do you consider this to be a friend? I actually thought of friendship in the form of a tree. We're all friends. I mean, if you look at that root word, nothing changed. All of us have been friends from the beginning since we were very, very young. And as that tree grew, we all started to spread out and branch out. Some stayed closer, some are way on the other side of the tree. We're all still attached. Like Mario said, if I see you, it's still that friendly vibe and meat that we see each other with. However, you may not be in my close coterie of friends. You know what I'm saying? So you got to have everybody in their respective places or boxes. But we're still friends nonetheless. So, I have friends that I can kick shabobo with whenever it's, that time of the day. I can go there and I can do that with them. I have friends that I do business with. I can't mix the two, can't commingle the two. It's not going to work. And like you said, just because Bobo was my friend doesn't mean I can do business with Bobo. Bobo is not responsible in that right. So I can't move forward with him. But it doesn't mean that I cut Bobo off. So, also, inside that tree instance, you do have pruners. Those are going to be the individuals that actually prune themselves. They put an expiration date on themselves that has nothing to do with me. One of the things that stood out to me, I think, was the verses, Snoop Dogg and DMX. And what he said to Snoop was very prolific. What he said to him was that you're my dog, you're my friend because you're my friend. You're not my friend because you decided to be my friend, but you're my friend because you're my friend. The love that I have for you is the love that I have for you. You can't take that away from me. That's my gift to you. That's my power. See what I'm saying? Now, if you dishonor that, that speaks of you and your characteristic. But as far as me, you're my friend. So I don't think friends have an expiration date. We do outgrow friends. That's okay. Put them in their respective spot. And when y'all do cross paths, hopefully it's still on the friendly or the respect level. But we just aren't friends like that. What do you get from it too?
Well, I want to say that mine's going to be a little different. I do believe that friends have an expiration date, but I also believe that we use the term friends too loosely. Coming up, I know especially as you move up on the scale of success, you oftentimes hear people call you your friend. but it's for a benefit. You know what I mean? And oftentimes you can't allow people to convict you with that. You know, say you're a barber and you have people say, "Oh, that's my friend." But with me, friendship is a little different where it's all about reciprocity with me. I've cut off a lot of people over the years because I have seen that those relationships wasn't real relationships where it was more of it wasn't giving. So how do I say this? Years ago, I said this prayer, and this is a prayer that I don't tell people to say because it'll tear your life up. I was asking God, anything that's not for me, untrue, real, take it away from me, remove it from my life. And the things that were removed from my life till this day, I kind of grieve for them because there were things that I believe that were true. People that I believe were my friends, people I believe that love me are no longer there. And I asked God for that vision, and I actually seen their heart for me and how they really felt about me. And I thank God for it. So you get to a space where I've learned the power of prayers and what you ask for. But I told y'all 2020 is about reciprocity. As a commissioner, as a community leader, man, most of the calls I get is about, hey, Horace, can you do this? Hey, can you do this? Can you do that? Can you do that? And we had a show where I was like, I blew it. Like, where are my people that's gonna ask me the simple question and say, how am I feeling? How you doing, bro? Hey, bro, you went through a divorce. Hey, bro, how are the kids? There was time I didn't get that, and that's what made me go down that checklist. So the people on this screen, I call my friends, which ended up turning into something organic. The Black Super Friends is a movement now because even though we're on screen, you know, the Black Super Friends is more of us. You know, it's more of us out there. But these are the four Black ambassadors. You know what I mean? There's some people, all of us that are down with the movement. But to the people listening, y'all might have your four Black super friends. You know, and what we mean by super friends, people that you really know you can put your life on the line for, that they really want to see you succeed. None of that fake stuff, not I'm with you, I'm competing, that really know that they have you. Mario's in business. All of us talk. Chris is in business. I can honestly say we talk like, bro, what you need? You need some doc. Okay, I'm looking for a truck. Chris is expanding his business. I'm gonna look out for this. Mario doing this. Mario, I got a property up there. Can you inspect it and let's go half on it? Those are the moves because that expands us as friends. You know what I mean? We're growing. So not to rattle on, man, but I think you do have expiration date because there's a lot of people that we never thought wouldn't be right here with us that ain't with us. We don't love them no less. But like Mario said earlier, it's classes for it. You know, I know the people I can do business with. I know the brothers I can even have a prayer session with. So I think we do have expiration dates. And just like a tree, you got to prune in order for that tree to get stronger and grow higher. So those are my thoughts, man. Mario.
Yeah.
I think that's some very good points, and I understand. Like you said, I think we always got to focus on associates and friends, because in my friendships, like, I feel like the people, even people who I feel haven't grown as much in their life as I have, and I understand they can't come on the journey with me to so many places. I still have genuine love for them. I still have genuine friendship with them. So I can't let the decisions in their life, even though I won't let it affect my life because I do have my family. I don't let it be the point of reference to our friendship. Because at the end of the day, you're right. I can't hang around you or do a lot of stuff with you, but I can always call and check on you. I can always call and give you an encouraging word because I still in my heart feel like you're my friend. And like you said, you're gonna have people who travel every level with you and keep growing and keep growing and keep growing. And those are going to be the people who are just tied to your purpose in life. It goes deep. That's when it gets deeper than friendship, and it becomes those are your surrounding people. I like to say those are the people, God, they almost angels. Like, they anchor you into this world, and they put here to, hold you accountable when you're wrong, pick you up when you fall, support you when you need it. But those right there, I believe with other friends who will want to do that, but they just don't know how to. And I believe to them, I might be their light. You know what I'm saying? So it's just hard for me to leave them to the side because I grew. And that's, you know what I'm saying? And that part of it, that'd be my hard part of on that.
That's why I'm with you on that, Hardy. You got to, when you're a conduit to others, you can't because they haven't gotten it. I think Blake was saying something about telling your friends where you are so that they can stand or they can level up to where you are. I think you should always be having that conversation with your close friends of where do you stand and where you see yourself going, to see if you guys are still in the same yoke, or so to speak, or on the same wavelength, to see if that is an individual that you can move forward, or if that's one of the ones where you got to compartmentalize with,
Right.
and put them right here to the side, knowing that that's still my boy. He's just not going where I'm going. He's not tied to me, like you said, Horace.
And it's okay. And it's okay if you don't want to go where I'm going. Because I had one of my closest friends when we sat down and like we was talking one night. He said, "Dad, what do you want in life?" And I started talking about all the stuff I wanted. And then he said, "Man, if I get me this, this, and this at a young age, if I get me this, this, and this, I'm gonna be happy." Right now, he has those things. So some people might look at it and say, he ain't got nothing, he ain't got this. No, but I know he has exactly what he wants in life. And it's injustice for me to say, he don't want nothing. He can't be my friend no more because I'm going here, I'm going here. He's happy. Every time I talk to him, he gives me a positive word. He's uplifting. He called me from time to time, and he's just happy where he is in life. So I don't like to put a status on life goals, on friendships, because I believe that everybody have a point of what your comfortability level and what you deem success is. And I don't believe that his success may be lower than what I think, that he can't be my friend. He just can't be my business partner, but he damn sure can still be my friend. You know.
Well, that leads into the second part of the question I wanted to ask you guys. A good friend wants to see you win. I mean, I really respect the people that make it and know that me making it ain't nothing without my peoples. You know what I mean? The ones that are really gonna work for it and really gonna receive the opportunity. You know what I mean? When I started doing, Dr. Hughes put me back into entertainment and podcasts, and I started doing a podcast here. I started doing a podcast there. Before I knew it, I was doing podcasts because I didn't have to do TV interviews no more. And the first thing I said was, damn, I got an idea. You know what I mean? I talked to Mario's wife, who was like, and so that was a confirmation. And I honestly, man, you guys are phenomenal. And this is what I saw for us. You know what I mean? Seeing that you guys all bring something that needs to be in the universe. You know what I mean? Especially the date doctor at the bottom. Mario, you break stereotypes. You know what I mean? And they surprise me all the time with his insight, you know? But so to that part, how do you know when support? You know what? I'm gonna go back to Zine because it's your birthday. So
That's King Chris spelled incorrectly on purpose. Thank you. CEO of owner of King Services, private pickup and delivery. Now that's a tough question. That's a tough question because love, when you genuinely love somebody, it's hard. So I think it's a case to case basis. I don't think there's no blueprint on that, because when you truly love somebody, and then on top of that, if you cut like that, like, go ahead.
Blueprint on what? I ain't asked the question.
You did. You said, okay, but let you ask the question then.
How do you know when support for a loved one becomes a crutch? That was the question.
That was okay.
Well,
that's a tough question. That's a tough question, because if you love somebody, it's tough. It's tough. It's a case to case basis. But what I like to say is this: you always want to use the airplane theory when dealing with people. The airplane theory is if the plane is about to go down, the stewardess tells you to grab when the face mask come down, they tell you to put it on yourself first. Not your kid, not your husband, not your friend, not your auntie, not your mom, not your dad. They tell you to put the mask on you first, because if you have to save you first to be able to save anyone else. So I can't tell you when it is. That's a case to case basis, but use the airplane theory. If the plane is going down, put the mask on you first. You have to be able to save you before you can save anybody else. Hard, what you think?
Well, I think it's kind of gonna be like, if that's really your friend, right? Let's just say, and I'm gonna use these people on the film. I mean, on the screen right now. And right now, I actually know these people, and I actually talk to them, so I understand what's going on in their life. So at some point, I'm gonna be able to tell when you tell me this, if I'm helping you or you just bullshitting me, and I'm just facilitating you for being lazy, because that's the crutch part. When you really don't have, I become a lot. When it become that you just wanting me to help you to succeed instead of me helping you to propel yourself into the next step in your life. And I feel like anytime you helping somebody and it becomes an ongoing thing and you don't see no traction moving forward, then that's a crutch. Because if I keep giving you, and I see you get nowhere further, but in the same place, then I'm not helping you. All I am is helping you stay the same, because you're missing the step here that you can't go to the next step. And I'm a strong believer. I'm a strong believer in this. I believe this with all my heart, even with my own kids. And everybody's life, you got to get to a point where you say, boom, I'll hit to whatever your bottom is, to whatever your awakening point is, and say, man, I have to find my way, wake up, find my faith, and then go on. And a lot of times as friends, we prolong that in other people's life because of what Chris said, love. So I believe sometimes we understand and step back and say, at the end of the day, Jesus came to say we didn't. We came as helpers, following his word. Sometimes we can be in the way and we could be making stuff worse than for our friends than we actually are helping them. Because I got a lot of people have helped me. Well, they was helping me because that's the only way they knew to help me. But I needed to fall on my butt a lot longer ago. So I could have got up and said, hold up, this is how I become a man. So it was a period of us helping each other, was helping facilitate my bull as I was just going through life, partying and all that kind of stuff like that, when I needed to be on my butt so I can wake up and say, hey, you need to stop this and then get your life together. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like anytime you helping somebody and you see it's no progression with your help included, then you becoming a crutch.
Yeah.
I'm right on you with that. I was just about to say that crutch starts at the very moment where you want it for them more than they want it for you. Right. At that very moment, you have to start to measure them and what they actually want. Like you said with the homeboy, that was fine. Was it their goal? Was their measure of success? And figure out if they're gonna be successful. Well, they're gonna be successful in life, but are they gonna be successful in life with your help or not? Or they need to go ahead, like you said, touch rock bottom with that bottom and figure it out.
All right.
What you say too?
Well, I definitely do believe that, and I learned that lesson because I always talk about making sure you got people that pour into you, just like you pouring into other people. When I first got into the community and doing all this stuff, community service, and I got into politics locally because I was, watching the city council meetings and talking to a senior citizen who needed help, and I guess interceding, going on behalf of other people, fighting a good fight. But that's when it got to be a little funny because people will put it right on your back. And for you carrying a whole lot of stuff and they'll burn you out. I do believe, I remember we had a mutual friend that needed a job bad. And I called around and I said, hey, if you go today, put in the application, they say they hire you in the spot, just tell them, put my name on it. He ready for you. And dude looked at, he rolled over and said, can you bring the application?
Mm.
After that day, man, I learned the lesson because a lot of times we like to be superheroes, right? And help people and we like good stories. But a lot of times I find out that it ain't unintentional. It ain't coincidence that those people oftentimes are in the situations they in. It's at their own hand. Hell, I even had a relationship that I had to leave because God was showing me what he was trying to do, and I kept getting in the way. And then before I know, I was getting my hand slapped, and I just had so much love for the person that I kept getting in. I kept getting in there with the cape on. You're in a relationship, you're supposed to be a man, and every time I kept bailing them out, thinking that they would see me a little differently. But no, because Chris said something good this week. He was like, people don't appreciate what they expect. I think that was the saying. You know what I mean? And they expected me. I turned into the person that kept on saving to the point where they expected. And then before I knew it, they didn't really put forth effort because they knew all that failed, he gonna bail me out. And it got to a point where it's disappointing, but you definitely can, become a crutch, and you interfering in God's purpose sometimes, for what he's trying to do for people's life. So Yeah, I
Hey,
definitely. Yeah.
don't forget about when you stop being that crutch and you become the bad guy. The moment you realize that they don't really want nothing out of life the way you want them to, you become that bad guy, and that's also a crazy feeling. But they never understood that you only out to help them in the beginning. So
Oh
Care
yeah,
about that.
I got
That's
pepper
when
spray really bad out there.
right. That's when
Hey, guess
entitlement.
what? You know
yeah,
what? Number three, I'm throwing that out the window to next week. I'm gonna go to the meat and potatoes if the board says that's fine.
That's
All
fine.
right.
All right. Well, it's a show, and we definitely like to do some groundbreaking stuff here. And I actually battled with this question, but it was posed by I don't know who. And the question was simple: what would it take for you to get married? You see, you got Horace Hounds at the top. You got Mario, who is married happily, and then you got those people on the bottom, the habituals. So let me start off by asking:
I'm so
in this
loose.
climate where it's 20-1, some regions it's 30-1. You're both eligible bachelors. You guys have businesses. None of you are short. You fit a profile that would be good on Match.com. What would it take for you to get married? And I'm gonna ask. Yeah, I'm gonna ask Zae first. No, I'm gonna ask the date doctor first. What would it
Oh, okay.
take?
Okay. Well, okay. I'm not a man that's easily impressed. I'm not a man that's easily won over. Um, in my life, I'm very content in my life. Today is my 40th birthday, and I'm pretty content in my life. I enjoy having the freedom of doing whatever I want to do. I enjoy not being responsible for another person's happiness. And I'm truly at peace. I got multiple streams of income. I run my own business. I started my podcast, so I'm pretty extremely happy. And not to mention, like, you guys are cool, but I'm not really into sausage parties. So I enjoy female company a lot more than hanging out with guys and stuff like that. So for me to get married, I would have to have the same. A woman would have to give me the same stimuli that single life gives me. You know what I'm saying? I enjoy single life. So a woman would have to give me the same stimuli that single life gives me, because I don't want to manufacture love. I don't want to manufacture feelings. I don't want to manufacture fidelity. I want to feel. I want that person to make me feel like I want to be faithful and I want to be in love. Not I got to do this because I'm this age, or I got to do this because I got to make my parents feel happy. I don't want to manufacture feelings or fidelity. Now for me, I get personally, my experiences is this: I date women who want to take it to another level. They express the fact that they want to take it to another level. I receive that as they want a promotion, and then they do less work. Like, they probably want to start to limit the access to the fun box. They want to maybe want to pull back on the attention or whatever the case may be. Now, I don't know what job you can go to, ask for a promotion, and then do less work, put in less effort, come in a lot, don't come in all 5 days, don't work all 40 hours. You can't tell your boss that I want to get paid more, I want a higher promotion, but then I'm going to do less. So I believe that in any type of relationship, when whatever person gets to the point where they want more, then they need to be ready to put more effort in, because essentially that's what you want. You want a promotion, and then you can't get a promotion by doing less work. Zay, talk to him.
my brother. You gave him a laundry list. I'm real simple. For me, it's just gonna have to be a dope ass partner. That's just it. I mean, besides me having to meet certain requirements within inside myself as far as set goals that I have, and I wanted to get out of the way prior to marriage, I would only say just probably my desires that I have, that I want to make sure that I have under control. It's going to be self-discipline for me. Once I master those things, then all I'm looking for me to get married is somebody that's going to be able to reciprocate the same exact thing that I'm going to be able to do. The reason why it's important for me getting those things out of the way is because I know myself. I'm with Chris. I'm happy being single, and I'm not going to rush into something because a parent, society, or a certain age hit me and saying that I need to do that thing. I'm going to be right with on the inside, and it's going to be a shift that I'm going to make on my own, not because someone else felt that I needed to do it or anything like that. That I think is going to make for the best union because we're going to be on one accord. I need that for me to be even entertaining marriage because, like I told you guys a long time ago, when I get married, that's it. There is no divorce. I don't even understand it. My partner's going to understand me. I'm going to understand them, and we're going to work together and build from them.
Man, my sister's going crazy in the comments, man. She's going nuts.
Yeah.
About
Because they want to see you married, my brother.
Oh man, she do like funerals. Go ahead.
I forgot that's what you call it.
Okay. Oh,
what would it take for you to get back married, man? What would you have to do? Or what would you have to see?
I don't know, man. I'm about to turn into Tevin Campbell.
They'll know.
My answer
gay
changed.
man? Never.
Yeah.
Horrible analogy. Listen. No, you know what? Honestly, man, I thought about this question since it went up in production, and my answer changed daily. I have met some phenomenal women on the surface. I met some phenomenal women on the surface, right? And I honestly say I don't know what I have left, and I don't know what I have left to give. But peace is everything, In my last relationship, I lost my prime years. It's like Michael Jordan if he went to the Grizzlies. You know what I mean? But you could score 63. You still ain't gonna get no W. So, but it's crazy as it sounds. Mine a little more difficult because I was originally getting divorced to get remarried. To do the whole fantasy thing. Because the first time I got married, it was just like this is what you're supposed to do on the checklist. I didn't do nothing. Epic. The proposal wasn't epic. None of that was epic. So I was getting divorced to try to do it the right way. Saying, maybe if I did the right way, God will give it a little more blessing. And then God said, are you stupid? And slapped the hell out of me in the back of my neck. So the relationship I wanted the most was probably the worst intimacy wise, but it had the potential to be the greatest relationship. And that's why I had originally got married. But I also learned, and Mario backed me up on this, in 10 years, I learned you can't fight for a relationship when your mate won't get in the room. The old person told me. So like Zae said, he don't believe in divorce. I don't wish that on anybody because when a man actually wants to get married, that's a lot. When a man wants to marry you, like he's giving up the farm. Like life is good for a decent black man with all his teeth, a job, and all that stuff. So I think women don't really realize that a man gets married. That is a big deal. That is not he's giving up sex with women. It really like to sound like Chris.
Well, it's not like that.
That's the one.
It's not like that.
I do agree with Chris when he says that though. Whenever he says that, that a man making that decision is numero uno. I agree with him because, like you said, you're giving up a whole lot.
Yeah.
Well, not saying that the woman isn't, but for a man to actually give it up, that's saying a whole lot. I'm sorry.
I can say this before I close out. I get up. I can get up right now and go anywhere I want to go in the drop of a hat. You know what I mean? And I done work hard to put myself in that position. So if I decide to share that life, it's dang sure for someone who deserves it. You know what I mean? I see a lot of women out here that's fine that have so much entitlement. I'm marrying you because you're fine. I'm marrying you because you're pretty. What's my investment on my return? I think I am simply asking for a real life partner who understand that time is valuable and that neither of us is perfect, but we should give each other 100% because that 50-50 thing is out the window. You need 100%, because it's going to be a long haul. Sickness, stuff comes up that you don't even think about. So I give this advice to women. If you're in a relationship, or men, if you're in a relationship, you worried about pride, ego, friends, or how you might look, don't get married. Be able to be with that person. Y'all get in that war room together because there's gonna be some ugly times. There's gonna be some accusations. It's gonna be the most crazy stuff. But you have to really know that this is who I'm with for life, and we just gonna have to work it out. You know what I mean? So that's my point. I think it has to be something attractive, something phenomenal. I've met someone that I think, it's a possibility. So I wouldn't say no because I want to get remarried. You know what I mean? But I want it to be somebody that really deserves and can appreciate the lifestyle that I'm going to give her. You know what I mean? Right now I'm traveling. I want to go travel the world. I want somebody who can really appreciate or respect that Chris going to work every day, paying all the bills and got you, because he don't have to do that. So that's what I think women need to ask themselves or really understand. Like, a man takes on a whole lot of stuff just to make your dreams come true. So sorry to ramble on, but those are my thoughts. Mario.
What?
What's your thoughts, man?
Your question was actually backwards, though. Yours was actually, what would it take for you to be divorced? I think it was, or something like that. Since you're already married, what would it take something for that to break that foundation that you have?
Well, first of all, y'all made some good points, and then I'm gonna say this for the person. First of all, let me put my disclaimer. I just recently got married in December, so I'm not the guru of marriage. I'm a brother who's trying to do the best I can every day, one foot in front of the other, and walking in my purpose. That's all I am. I'm not the guru. Now, second, I'm gonna say this. When I started thinking about marriage, it was like 2 years before I even asked her to be married. I got engaged. I started talking to these guys right here. Know that. I started talking about marriage. I started getting my credit together. I got braces. I started working out more. Like, I started preparing myself to be what I wanted in return. So I'm gonna say this wasn't just like, no, I bumped into this and then had it. I got a strong relationship with God. I made sure my money was a little better. I started a business. I went back to school. Like, I did a lot of stuff before I even got married. So that the stuff that I asked for or I required, I was that. So that being said, the last thing I did, which probably should have been the first, well, I'm gonna say I was praying the whole time, was I heard from God. I really believe in my heart. And people might say, yeah, whatever. I say, I really believe in my heart. And I tell anybody this, that God wants me to be with my wife. I believe that. I believe she's attached to my purpose. I believe my business grown. Like, she helped me to talk better in rooms and to go into environments and then be better. I believe her and my daughter's relationship it just came off organic. That was good. I had a son. Lord knows I've been asking for a son. You know what I'm saying? Our first child was a son. I'm just saying that all the stuff it just seemed to be given. I'm not saying every day is roses and sunshine. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying she don't mind if I say, hey, this weekend I'm flying to Vegas. Everybody know I go out. I go out, won't respectfully. Like, you know what I'm saying? But one thing I did notice this too. The more I start working on myself to get married, the more I start having, the more I start losing desires to do a lot of other stuff that I thought was just so fun. Like right now, she just asking me as a bunch of my friends' birthday, you going to the club? You going to the club? I didn't want to go. She didn't give a damn if I went. I didn't want to go. Like, I like doing other stuff now. I seem to be like, I like sitting around with her, falling asleep watching TV. And I never thought I'd see this day. I never thought this. I went party hardy. I was Drake himself. I hate sleeping alone. I love women. It's not even about the sex. I just want to be around women. But now I can find myself just being with her and it being okay. And I'm going to have to think that's tied to my purpose. So for me to ever get divorced, God himself will have to come again and say, I don't think you was listening to me, Mario. I didn't tell you that. You were listening to another voice. And that's not the one for you. And I have you going this way. And then at that point, anything that's tied to my purpose, I have to obey it. Because I have to understand if God not in it, especially the institution of marriage, then it won't work. So if I had to feel like it won't be God's fault, it'll be my fault. Because it'll be me not having a strong enough relationship with God that I can understand and hear his voice properly. So as I grow in God and I hear his voice creeping, I see, dang, I wasn't listening to God. I would listen to my selfish wants as a man because I still am flesh. Then at that point right there, I will turn. I will apologize to my wife because I truly believe that purpose is what we here for. And one day spent not living your purpose is a day wasted. So I have to believe that as much as I love my own wife, as much as I love my son, as much as my mama, her mama be disappointed, if God was to come tell me, hey, this not it, I'm trying to do something. I need you over here, and I need you to do this, and I'll have to pick up and leave. And I'm not saying I won't cry. I'm not saying it won't be hard. I'm not saying I won't be devastated, but I'm telling you that I'm very serious about my purpose and me fulfilling this, because I believe that we was all built for a purpose. You know what I'm saying? I believe that right now, me and her got a job to do. But if I heard wrong, then I got to go, because I believe it's somebody out there who tied to a purpose that I need to be fulfilling. And then I'll have to take my time, get closer to God, and open my ear a little bit more. So that, to me, that's the only thing I feel right now. A couple months in, that's the only thing I feel that could stop me from being married and get a divorce. Because I truly believe that all the stuff I thought I was gonna lose, I really didn't lose it. Like, I can still respectfully do the stuff I want to do. Like, she don't, if anything, she tell me to go more. I was worried about that. You know her, all y'all have met her. She can sit around, she cool, that's what I'm saying. Like, she supports y'all just like y'all her brother. You know what I'm saying? Like, I always wanted that, because my friends are close to me. She know that I'm y'all my brothers, but I'm not all in y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like, she does what it takes. God has truly blessed me with her. So for me to leave, he would have to tell me to leave, fellas.
You said something.
No,
you said something that I want to real quick. I want to interject. Said something. She gave you a son. Screw all the shit that I said before. If she give me a boy, I do it.
A junior.
If you give me a junior, I do it.
You know what the best thing about our friendship with Mario? After the fact, I talked to Mario, and Mario's younger, but he's always been the wise man of the group. And then when we had the conversation, because I was like, Mario, being able to be accountable, I think is big. You know what I mean? And learning about it ain't even about who's right, who's wrong. You know what I mean? I always tell people it take 100. That 50-50 is what got me divorced. Everybody 1 foot in, egos involved. You with me, no, you with me. And then the reality is what we dreamed of having together, it came, but it came afterwards. You know what I mean? So for a long time, I battled with the thing like, was it meant to happen that way, or was it coincidence? Because I can look back and say I didn't fight hard enough, but I also believe that it took two people in their relationship. You fight on your own for something, or you're in a relationship, you're gonna burn out at some point. But the point that I was getting to is, you always, the way you speak and the way you speak so highly of your marriage and the affirmation, I think that's what, as Black men, we got to do more related to a lot of stuff. Those affirmations, you know what I mean? To stay encouraged, to stay consistent, man. Because like I was telling you before, you a good blueprint. But in the past, any men that we grew up with was like, the hell with marriage. I don't want to get married. I can't stand it. I hate her. So we didn't have no good blueprints. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm always proud when you confess your feelings. And the hell with the stereotypes is a Black man being vulnerable enough to share his thoughts. And that goes for the rest of the panel. That's the purpose of our show, being vulnerable. So somebody might look and say, man, Tudor being real tender. But those are my true thoughts. You know what I mean? But those are my true thoughts.
But I think y'all for that. Like, I always say this, and I say this, I'm gonna say this a lot. I talked to a lot of my friends and a lot of people before I got married. And Chris asked me 1,000,001 questions about it. But for real, but like some of them questions, a lot of times, see, one thing about it, if I can't answer that question, I had to look into me and ask myself why. And then a lot of times it was like, so then what if this happened? And I had to say to myself, like, damn, what if that happened? Am I ready for that? Am I ready for this? Am I ready for that? Then I had to understand that I'm just a man. I'm just a man who put on his pants every day. So I had to say, well, how? Because all the stuff that people who love me are telling me that can make me apprehensive about marriage, I'm always say this. I believe truly, if I wasn't strongly had a personal relationship, I'm not talking about going to church, I'm talking about having a relationship with God. To a preacher, but I would have to go back to God, because I couldn't have done this without him. And I don't believe I can still continue to do it without him, because that's the person who, like Tudor said, when you in there arguing or when you having a disagreement, one thing for sure that God loves us is the Bible, or understanding of this is where we can go back to agree to disagree, because we equally yoked on understanding that we both serve God equally in that thing. So if he said it here, it don't matter how you feel, it don't matter how I feel. That's what he said. That's what we're gonna go with. But I would love to talk to somebody who not faith driven and ask them how they handle a marriage. Because when you know what I'm saying, in one of the first shows, I would want to know what is their meeting point or their mediator when they having arguments and stuff like that, when pride is involved, when anger is involved, when you, like you said, when you know you're right, but you don't want to give an argument, you know what I'm saying? What do you rely on? Also, that you know what I'm saying? So if anybody in the comments can have insight on that, give us some insight while you do.
Well, they're not gonna come. They're not. You know how it is with black people. They're not gonna tell you if they're not faith driven. They they'll be sticked in stone out of the village.
Well,
Right.
I want to get this disclaimer because you'll have somebody in the comments, a single woman saying Jesus is her husband. I just want to let you know he's your brother. He's not your husband. Jesus is your brother. All right. So, hey, listen, it's been another phenomenal show with the Black Super Friends. I'm gonna go around the board for the closing out. Remind that we have Therapy Thursdays this week with Cortina Peters. Therapy Thursdays this week, fellas, and it's at 8 p.m. So just reminding you guys, and I think it's going to be a phenomenal show. So I'm going to Mario first, then Chris, and then the ladies' man.
Well,
Mario.
First of all, I want to say thank y'all for tuning in, like always, because without y'all, there is no us. We're just four brothers rambling on the screen, looking at each other with nobody chiming in, and then we definitely don't want to do that. So we appreciate y'all tuning in. And second, I want to say, I know she's gonna probably look at it in the morning. Happy birthday, Jaleesa. My wife's birthday is tomorrow, so I want to make sure that when she goes back to look at this and she see, I want to let her know.
Happy birthday, sis.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
There's a lot of Leos in my life, so it's only right that I married one. So I really appreciate her, and I just want to say thank you for Mario and everything you do for me and everybody around me. I love you.
You winning, bro.
And you look like Taraji P. Henson.
All right, Chris, you're on deck.
Oh man, like man, look, I'm at a good place right now, man. I'm happy. I want to thank everybody that gave me some birthday love. I got some love in the comments. I got some love in the Cash App. So I appreciate all that, man. I just want to say thank y'all. I'm happy to be here. I want to say thank you to my cast mates because you guys mean a lot to me, man. When Horace brought this to my attention, maybe almost 3 months ago, I didn't even know what to expect. But every day we've done it, I think it's helpful. It's therapeutic because I love you guys, but we didn't talk on a regular basis. This gives me an opportunity. Not just for the podcast, it gives me an opportunity to have a conversation with my friends on a regular basis, and that's one of the most important things to me, man. So I just like to thank everybody for everything that they've done, for all the birthday wishes, and I love y'all. Appreciate you.
My brother, you ain't got no tears over there, dude.
A little bit.
All right, just making sure.
Corner. No, because of the ducks. I got to clean the duck system. It's the allergies, and I was cutting onions before the show and shit. So,
that's that'll get you every time.
All the time.
We said it before, but I'm gonna say it to you again. Happy birthday, happy King's Day, my brother.
Appreciate.
Anytime, bro. To everybody out there that tuned in, thank y'all. Again, like they said, we just four guys rambling on until you guys give us some input and insight so we can form it up for you. That's all we got. So for that, we appreciate you guys every week. I'm going to say I can't wait to talk to you guys later on this week, which will be Thursday at 8 p.m. And then again, Monday, we'll be right back here for Monday Night Raw.
Like we left
the
some.
Super Friends, the black ones.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well,
don't even worry about it.
I want to first off, I think August is Black Business Month. So again, give a shout out to JNL Apparel in Riviera Beach, who, all of us are starting to sport some of the Black Super Friends apparel. We still going through brand marketing testing. So I see everyone got on some nice stuff. We're gonna get Mario some stuff to wear to the gym with no sleeves on, so
appreciate it, man.
Marketing is everything. You know what I mean? And also Therapy Thursday with Katina Peters. We came about with that show because of all the stigma attached to therapy, especially with Black men, the Black community. So the last time we had, it was amazing. So I'm looking forward to this show this week, and we'll break down these clips, man. If y'all have some questions of what y'all want us to talk about next week, hit us up in the Black Super Friends page on Facebook, but go to YouTube and subscribe, please. You know, before we go to Roku and Amazon. So I want to get the initial viewers before we take off.
All right, before we go too, guys, one thing I left out, fellas, give us some input. Lovely ladies, I love y'all. Y'all always are in there giving us your input on what you want to talk about. Guys, we also want to make this interesting for you. We want you guys to give your insight. These women are trying to learn something about you, but also two things that are plaguing your mind that you just want to get out there, that you may have thought that you're thinking the wrong way of, or you may be thinking the right way of. We don't know. Hit us with it in the inbox, man, and we want to discuss it. Bring it.
Hey, my sister say you sound like a Southern deputy.
Oh man, why she put the police on me? God damn, come on, Toy. I thought we were better than that.
She definitely your sister. Listen, when she used to walk up 30th Street, she was quiet. Now she's Sister Soldier. But I appreciate what you do for the community. Keep fighting a good fight, young sister over there. So I do salute all my waffle-colored Negroes. Hey, signing off from the Black Super Friends podcast. It is the Horace Towns, and I'll sound better next week. All right? Go to YouTube and subscribe to us.